Armada Wave 10, second thoughts. Here we go. So we have the AMG Livestream update for Armada Wave 10. Let's have a look at what we have. Okay, so we have some new information about the Pelta medical transport. So exactly the same as the Pelta transport, except we have, instead of defensive retrofits, we have offensive retrofits. Instead of black dice, we have blue dice, and it's 4 points more. This ship still doesn't make sense to me. I think if you're going to need fleet support as a Republic player, it's better off just taking Radiant and taking fleet support on that. I don't understand what you would need the Pelta for. I don't see a need for a second fleet support. But what I am hoping for is that unknown, unrevealed card that says something mission. It has pictures of Peltas on it. That it's most likely an offensive retrofit that's unique to Peltas only. And that it gives you, as the player, some sort of victory points or tokens for whatever objective you're playing. And it might involve, hopefully, something like you have to get the medical frigate to the enemy side of the deployment zone. Who knows? But something like that would definitely make a lot of sense to take multiple Peltas and for them to do something useful. And because they're speed 2, it would be very challenging to get something like that to happen, to get them across the board and be able to score those victory points. It's like another way of playing Armada, I guess. Similar to how they put R2-D2 into Legion as another way of gaining victory tokens. But yeah, I'm still not seeing the use for the Pelta. The medical frigate is Squadron 2, so you could fit it out like a pocket carrier with expanded hangar bays. That way you can activate 3 squadrons naturally, 4 with a token. I have a feeling that the transport Pelta might be Squadron 3, because if the medical one is Squadron 2, the transport would imply that it's carrying more of something, right? If the transport is Squadron 3, then I can see it being a pocket carrier. So you could, it would be a cheaper way of activating squadrons if that's all you want to do. The downside to that though is if it is Squadron 3, it's a hard choice now. So you're paying 4 points less, and you don't have offensive retrofit now, which is what the medical transport has, which is ironic because it's a medical ship that has offensive capabilities. But yeah, Pelta, look, I think we really need to see what that medical mission card is and go from there. I know a lot of people really like the way the Pelta looks on paper, but I'm just not seeing it. The reason being is my baseline standard for small ships is a TRC 90. Okay, so a TRC 90 costs 47 points, and it's one of the most efficient ships in the game, and it provides a lot of firepower and consistency. I compare every small ship, depending on its role, with a TRC 90. So I go, okay, for 47 points, what am I getting? And I'm just not seeing it with the Pelta at the moment. And look, I'm a pleb when it comes to Pelta. It's a big reason why there is no Pelta Captain's Clinic, because I suck at flying. I do recognize that the Pelta is amazing in certain lists, like that Leia list and that the old Riken list before the Riken got its nerf, but I'm really struggling to see how it would fit in a Republic fleet. So we got more information on the Venator 1 Star Destroyer. So we actually got the ship card for it. So surprisingly, it's Squadron 3. So the Venator 2 has Squadron 5, but we don't know what the upgrade profiles are. But we do know that the Venator 1 is only Squadron 3, which really confuses me. I have to compare the Venator 1 to an Acclimator 1, right? So for an extra 24 points, what you're getting from a Venator 1 over an Acclimator 1 is a very similar upgrade profile. You have fleet command, you have an extra shield at the side, and an extra dice at the side, and an extra dice at the front, and 3 more hull. 24 more points. A larger chassis as well. So I am not sure, if you're not pushing squadrons, if getting a Venator 1 is worth it over an Acclimator 1. Some people have said that they would use a Venator 1 like a brawler. I just don't see it. If you're getting a Venator, I think you want to be pushing squadrons. And if you're going to be pushing squadrons, I think you want a Venator too. But we'll have to see what the upgrade profiles look like. But if you're just looking for pure efficiency, I think you can do better, more efficient ship-to-ship fighting with an Accumulator 1 over a Venator 1. But that's just me. So now we have the information on the Recusant Support Destroyer and the Recusant Light Destroyer. We have the profile for the Support Destroyer right here. It is what? So we have Officer, Weapons Team, 2 offensive slots, and a Turbo Laser slot. Now it does have a red flak dice, so I would imagine that most people would put linked turbo laser towers into the Turbo Laser slot. Interestingly, it has 3 squadron. It's one of those things where you would go, okay, with 2 offensive retrofits, you might put boosted comms, expanded hangar bays, a reserve hangar deck if you're going to be flying lots of Vulture droids, or anything with Swarm really. And yeah, it's interesting because it's not as good as a Providence, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. And you could use it as a medium carrier, I guess is what the word is. I still like the Light Destroyer better than this one, simply because of having 4 red dice at the front is nice. Looking at the Support Destroyer, it's gone confetti dice, so 3 reds, 2 blues, and a black out the front, and looks like 3 reds and a blue out the sides. I have mixed feelings about the Support Destroyer. I would definitely prefer the Light Destroyer over this one. Well, the other interesting thing is that the Support Destroyer is 90 points, so same points as a Venator, but the Light Destroyer is 80 points. Yeah, mixed feelings about the Support Destroyer. Not sure what to make of it here. We'll have to see what the community builds out of this one. And also, I forgot to mention, we got to see that yes, the Recusant does have a brace. Thank goodness. Has brace, it has a salvo, redirect, and invade. So it has nearly one of everything, but scatter. But that'd be a bit unfair, wouldn't it? Next, we have information on the Providence class carrier. So we now have the carrier and the dreadnought. So the upgrade profile on the carrier, we have defensive retrofit, fleet command, offensive retrofit, ordnance, turbo laser, and ion cannon. So nearly one of everything. So it's a good all-rounder. Dice wise, we have the confetti dice again. What? 2 reds, 2 blacks, a blue at the front, 2 reds, 2 blues, 2 blacks at the side. 5, 3, 2 for shields, so same. A Squadron 4, so this is the carrier that you want to have if you're playing CIS and you want to activate a whole bunch of squadrons at the same time, whether it be Vultures, Hyena bombers, Tri-Fighters, you name it. This is the ship you need to activate a whole bunch at once. 5 with the Squadron token, 6 with the expanded hangar bays, maybe you put reserve hangar deck on, I believe. Most people is what most people would want to do. And coming in at 105 points, so exactly the same points as the Dreadnought. This is interesting. It's an interesting design choice because now normally with your other ships, there's always a variant that's cheaper, and most people go for the cheaper one because it's it's cheaper, but you can generally fit it out to make up for whatever was going to miss out on in the more expensive variant. So here is a great ship design where they've gone, no, they're both exactly the same points, but they have different roles. So you have to be more diligent when selecting the right choice when you're fleet building here in this one. Yeah, so you go 105 points if I want to activate squadrons using the carrier, or 105 points if I want to be a ship brawler and use the Dreadnought. I think one thing that people would really want on this ship is weapons teams, so they can put flight controllers on when they activate their 4+1+1 squadrons. It's interesting, I guess, that the Dreadnought has weapons teams, so it really depends on what's the squadron value of the Dreadnought. I'm guessing it's going to be 2. Saying that, we have fleet command. So what kind of fleet command would I like to have on this? I wouldn't want all fighters follow me because I think CIS squadrons are fast enough as they need to be. Learning from flying Munificence is that the fleet command that works the best is intensify firepower. That means you're going to be wanting to have combat ships in your fleet like a Dreadnought, but the Dreadnought doesn't have fleet command. So once again, it's that strange design choice where they're both the same points, they fulfill different roles, but they also have upgrades from each other's roles that the other ship want. Yeah, that can be really frustrating, but I guess that's where the fun is, isn't it? Okay, in terms of builds, I would want to have reserve hangar decks, ECMs, external racks, leading shots, and link turbo laser towers. For the turbo laser, it's a bit hard. Link turbo laser towers is an easy choice. Most people, I think, if they're running this as a carrier, they'll most likely leave that slot empty just to save on points. But if you've got the points, I didn't see a bad thing putting like spinals or enhanced armaments on this, depending on how you want to fly it. I think most people would like to put spinals, so long as the modification is not being used elsewhere. That's if they want that extra dice. I would actually look at maybe using H9s, because you have blue dice, which means you can always guarantee an accuracy with H9s. And of course, in this world of Clone War ships, there's a big lack of ECMs on the field. So having a H9s there to lock out their brace is brilliant, especially if you're bombing them with all the squadrons you can get. Okay, so those are my second thoughts for Armada Wave 10 from what we know from the AMG livestream. There's still a whole bunch of information that we don't have yet. And I'm hoping most of that information, when it gets released, will change my mind on a lot of things. Otherwise, look, you guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. If there's anything else you want to discuss or you think that I've missed, please put a comment below and join our Discord and put it up in the Armada channel. This is VC Ken signing out.